Right. Hi, everyone. Shall we start the day 8 of your management lesson? Correct. Now, for you to tell you, guys, අපි කාලෙකින් class එකකට යන්නත් නැද්ද? So, what about your other classes? Economics and accounting, are you still participating online or in class? I think Kasums is still doing online, right? Physical, okay, right. Guys, this is for 2020 A-level students. So the plan is to start not the theory class, a revision plus paper class. From 9th Sunday onwards, 10 a.m. to 12. So the time is to be confirmed still, but it seems like all students okay with this time, Sunday 10 to 12 at LIT. Let's see. So I'll still confirm, but at the moment, this is the update. So we'll be starting. So this would be an ideal opportunity for you to cover the syllabus from the beginning, because first we'll be moving to the unit-based papers. So we'll be identify the key topics in grade 12. So we have prepared unit-based papers, which means, for example, let's say from the lesson number 7. So all the papers have been designed from lesson number 7. So likewise, first we'll start with the unit-wise. So then we'll be moving to the model papers, which covers the entire grade 12 syllabus. And then gradually, as we finish the theoretical stuff in grade 13, so we'll be starting to cover you the full set of model papers as well. So I think this would be an ideal opportunity for you. So for this, the class fee would be 2,500 for the other students. If you participate, for the theoretical class, that would be only 2,000 rupees per month. So that is as per the current plan. So I'll keep you informed. I think you all are expecting to come into the class, for a difference. Maybe we'll continue this class as it is. Why? Because it's not possible for us to have 2 days class in terms of theoretical. So online we'll be covering the theoretical stuff. So then that will be a great help. So all the unclear points, doubts, you can clarify with me, because we are gonna meet on this Sunday. So at the moment I'll confirm through a message to you. So that's the message. That's the update I can give you from my end. Correct. So we were talking about it's only 2023, not still, right? Because you guys have to cover the 12 syllabus. So what you can do is, you can shift to the Tuesday class to cover the missed areas. So you can join for that. So no need for the 2023 students, right? Correct. So we were talking about the planning and the principles of planning, or what we need to think. For example, we need to make sure that there's a timeline for planning. So without having a timeline, we cannot proceed. Mama kavada hari exam එක කරනවා. You cannot plan on that. So you have to say, okay, I'll be doing my examination in 2022. So that's why there should be a timeline. And that has to be communicated from the ground level to the top level, which is from CEO to associate, from the top person of the organization. So the plan has to be, delivered from CEO to associate. What do you mean by associate is the lowest level of employees. So CEO to associate. And something like the advantage over cost. For example, the total project cost is 50 million US dollars, but you cannot spend for planning like 30 million US dollars. Why? Because you cannot spend a lot Well, thank you නේද? Thank you government ලා තමයි කියන්න තියෙන්නේ. Right, hi everyone. Do you guys hear me? See me? I'm really sorry about this one. Thanks to the government, we are having the power cut. Right. Do you guys hear me? Can you please drop a message to my BS class account because my host is no longer there. Okay, good. So I hope it's somewhat manageable. So we'll try to continue like that. At least අපි planning part එක ඉවර කරමු. Well, if you face any difficulties, please drop a message. Right. Okay. Right. So we were talking about the planning principles. නේද? මම තව planning principle එකක් කියන්න. Flexibility. නේද? The flexibility should be there. Why I'm telling like that, you know, according to the dynamic business environment, time to time, you will have to change the plan sometime. You may have to amend it. You may have to add some features. So that flexibility should be there. So that's what we were talking about. Now coming to today's part, we'll be talking with you the importance of the planning and the problems and the limitations. Yes, as you are well aware, there are so many benefits for us, you know, when we do the planning. So let's focus on that one, which is the importance of planning. Importance of planning. I would say now without a plan, අපි මේක පටන් ගත්තෙම එක quote එකකින් නේද? We talk about if you are failing to plan, which means you are planning to fail. Which means when there's no plan, what will happen? Due to nowadays high competition, you won't be able to face for the competition. And as well as how do you face for the challenges? How do you face for the threats and weaknesses? Now, the best way for you to have an idea about the importance of planning, the better way is that if you could remember the planning process. So if you do remember the planning process, resource analysis, you know what are the set of resources that you need to acquire. Environmental analysis. So the current environment that you analyze in terms of strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So in advance, you have, you know, analyzed those stuff. So it's really easy to face the challenges and also the possible opportunities and threats you try to identify. So then you know you have a plan for that as well. This might arise in the future. This kind of opportunity might arise. So then how we grab it? This kind of a threat might arise from the external business environment, so how we face it. So that is why one of the things would be So to face the dynamic business environment well, so you are in a position to face it well. And also, it's really Right. So let's get started back. So I'll try to guys finish the planning part. Then ඔයගොල්ලෝ join වෙච්ච එකේ අපි කොහොමරි planning part එක කරලා ඉවර කරමු. එතකොට අපිට organizing next day පටන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. බලමු ඊට ඒ අතරමැද කාලෙදී power එන්නත් පුළුවන්. Right. correct. මොනවද අපි කතා කර හිටියේ? The importance of planning. Yes. එහෙනම් අපි කතා කර හිටියා resources ගැන. Yes. When there's no plan, there's a resource wastage. දැන් බලන්න මෙතනත් උනේ resource wastage එකක් තමයි. Why I'm telling like that? At least they need to inform without going for sudden power cuts. They haven't planned it yet. So there's no proper plan for energy management. So where they do some sudden power cuts, so which waste the resources of all of us. For your time, it's my time, when there's a, if they have informed early, so that should have been avoid that. So that's why we need to make sure we plan it. Or maybe they are doing some repairs and maintenance, but if it is something really urgent or important, a sudden one, that is fine. But they should have planned it in advance to do some maintenance and everything. So there's no proper plan for that. There's no proper plan. So then, yes, there's a resource wastage. So likewise, in our organization, when we do not plan, when you do not plan your exam well, there would be a resource wastage. The amount you spend, right, on class fees, so many other materials, purchasing stationeries, your time, and also do not forget, there's an opportunity cost as well. So that's why a proper plan need to be implemented in order to reduce the resource wastage. Why I'm telling like that? Resource, you know that, are limited. අපි දන්න දෙයක් තමයි සම්පත් සීමා සහිතයි කියන එක. So the limited resources, your time is limited, my time is limited. So rest of the resources, land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, those are limited. So that's why we are doing sort of business. So otherwise, why we engage in employment, or why we try to earn an income, and there's unlimited resources, not like that. So the limited resource, how you manage when there's a proper plan. And not only that, guys, planning acts as the foundation to the rest of the steps in the management process. So without planning, there's no organizing. Without planning, there's no leading. Without planning, there's no controlling as well. So for the management process to provide a good foundation, likewise, you might remember, the foundation laying like that, planning, and then you have the organizing pillar, you have the leading pillar, and finally the controlling. So likewise, to provide you this set of thing. What else? And also, I would say, yes, to ensure the continuity of the business, because otherwise what happens? For example, the companies went bankrupt, or companies has to shut down their operation. Maybe they haven't planned their future ahead. They haven't analyzed the, computers challenges. For example, what happened to Nokia and all, they didn't plan it well. They didn't analyze the environment. So where they didn't identify the future threats. Sometimes we might see when organization analyze the planning process, they might able to understand the future possible threats to their businesses. So you are very up to date about what's happening around you. If not, so you won't be able to continue your business operations. So likewise, you can see the importance of planning. So what you can do, guys, can you all come to the, I'm really sorry, I'm unable to share the screen. Can you all come to the page number 9? I think there's 2 pillars. මම එතන මේ විදිහට divide කරලා තියෙනවා. Planning කියලා ලියලා මේ වගේ 2 boxes. Shall we write in our left hand side importance? එහෙනම් planning වල importance. Shall we write one by one? අපි එකින් එක points දාලා ලියමුද? Page number 9, planning tude. So please make sure you fill as importance. So I'm going to read one by one. So the first point. first point. Shall we write the first point? First point is, so under importance, first point, to face future uncertainties. To face future uncertainties. To face future uncertainties. Okay, good. That I was just checking whether it's recording, it's live streaming, right? Still, okay, good. The first point, to face future uncertainties and dynamic environment successfully. First point, to face future uncertainties and dynamic environment successfully. Dynamic environment successfully. මොකද්ද සරලව කියන්නේ? Right? වෙනස් වෙන ලෝකීයට මුහුණ දෙන්න පුළුවන් ඔයා මේක in advance plan කරොත්. ඒ වගේම uncertainties, we know that, you know, uncertainty, correct? Uncertainty might arises when you conduct business. නේද? හැමදේම uncertain නැතිනම් අත්තම කතාව කිව්වොත්, right? So what certain is the uncertainty? මොකද්ද certain වෙන්නේ? uncertainty එක නම් certain. කියන්නේ වෙනස් වෙන දේ තමයි නියත. So other thing ඔක්කොම වෙනස් වෙනවා. වෙනස් වීමට ඔයාට මුහුණ දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම වෙනස් වෙන ව්‍යාපාර ලෝකයේ the dynamic business environment you can face successfully, you know, when you plan ahead. So I hope you are clear with the first point. Second one, shall we write about the resources? Yes, second point, to use resources efficiently. To use resources efficiently, which is the second point. To use the resources efficiently. එහෙනම් planning නැත්තම් හැමදේම අවුල් වෙනවා නේද? බලන්න දැන් රටට වෙලා තියෙන economic policy එකක plan එකක් නැහැ. There's no plan at all. එහෙනම් plan එකක් නැත්තම් හැමදේම අපි කියන අවුල් වියවුල් වෙනවා. නේද? හිතන දේ කරන්න නෑ. ඒ plan එක නෙමෙයිනේ අපි වැඩ කරන්නේ. ඒ නිසා please write to use resource efficiently. To use resource efficiently. To use resources efficiently. Yes. So when we have a proper plan, we'll be able to efficiently manage resources, because resource is a cost for us. It's really limited. ඒක හරිම සීමා සහිතයි. එහෙනම් ඒ වෙනුවෙන් අපිට planning එකක් තිබ්බොත් ඒක අපිට manage කරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි. Third point, shall we write, to facilitate controlling. 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 Yes. How do you facilitate controlling without planning? එහෙනම් planning නැතුවට controlling facilitate කරන්න බෑ. එහෙනම් plan එකක් තිබුණොත් තමයි end of the day you can compare yourself whether you have achieved to that expected level or not. Because let's say you plan for A plus, A grade, right? So when you plan for A pass, so then you can end of the day you can check with yourself whether you have been able to achieve it. So likewise, you set up your organizational goals and objectives, and then end of the day you try to compare whether you achieve it or not. So it facilitates the controlling. So when there's a plan, we can always see the, you know, actual versus the expected one. අපි මොනවාද plan කරේ, ඇත්තටම අපි මොනවද achieve කරේ එහෙනම් මොකක්ද මෙතන difference එක again you can do what you can find the reasons for those deviations those variances those gaps I මෙතන gap එකක් තියෙන what has happened what went wrong so likewise you'll be able to maybe the next time you can correct it right so now this is the fourth point shall we write to give managers an opportunity to think about the future of the organization which is the fourth point let me repeat it to give managers an opportunity to think about the future of the organization to give managers an opportunity to think about the future of the organization එහෙනම් planning process එකේදී managers ලාට අවස්ථාවක් දෙනවලු organization එකේ future එක ගැන හිතන්න it's same applicable to you as well when you plan your future so it will provide you the opportunity to think about it so what are the various options that you have or maybe you might right after your A level you might plan your next the couple of years which are the most important the stage of your life so you have to plan well correct so that's it leads you to identify your strength identify your weaknesses opportunities and threats so it's a really good thing for you to identify who you are and then what sort of capabilities you have and also you might remember that there was a step called identification of the gap so you can see right the expected place where you want to achieve and what is the current situation so what sort of a gap you need to fill in order to become to that position or to that situation so it's really important it gives the chance for you to think about your future that is in terms of personally but when you come to a business organization it gives an opportunity to think about the future of the organization and එහෙම හිතුවේ නැත්තම් future එකක් නැති වෙයි organization එකට එහෙනම් competition එක ඇවිල්ලා ප්‍රශ්න ඇවිල්ලා maybe you won't be able to survive in the business environment sometimes the survival is more important and අපි කොහොමද රැඳිලා ඉන්න ඕනේ මේ market එකේ අයින් වෙන්නේ නැතිව survival එකක් important එහෙනම් you cannot survive without planning correct shall we write the next point please fifth one to direct fifth point to direct and integrate other functions of the management fifth point guys I hope to see that to direct and integrate other functions of the management so that's the fifth point what is this all about yes that's what I was explaining without planning there's no organizing which is the next topic that we are about to discuss and without planning there's no leading without planning there's no controlling so the planning has to be there like the foundation in order to direct the other functions now you realize once you study the rest of the functions like organizing and leading so then to integrate them as well as to direct the rest of the activities එහෙනම් planning එක මත තමයි plan එක අනුව තමයි organize කරන්නේ organizing අනුව තමයි lead කරන්නේ ඒ අනුව තමයි control කරන්නේ ඒ නිසා මේ first function එක නැත්තම් අනිත් functions උත් නැත. ඒක තමයි සරල අදහස. To direct and integrate other functions of the management. Number 6, to ensure the growth and continuity of the organization. To ensure the growth and continuity of the organization. එහෙනම් plan කරේ නැත්නම් ඔයාගේ business එක කවදා කඩන් වැටෙයිද කියන ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙනවා. So we know that the continuous existence is a must. ඒක අර නිකන් නමට කියලා හරියන්නේ නැහැ. The continuous existence කියන එක when you incorporate a company ඔයාට ලැබෙනවා ඒක the continuous existence. හැබැයි it's your responsibility to maintain it. Right? To keep your organized for a long period of time, right? For unlimited period of time, to make sure you plan ahead. So to ensure the growth plus the continuity, very important 2 points actually here. Growth එක ආගේ business එක පොඩියට පටන් ගෙනවා මේ විදිහට grow වෙනවා time එකත් එක්ක මේ පැත්ත time එක 2020 2025 2030 likewise, in terms of maybe the revenue, sales, so growth, and also the continuity. Growth in a business continue to ensure the growth and continuity of the organization. Because why? Planning leads for you to identify the objectives and goals and how to achieve it. What is the strategy to follow? So then, without any doubt, you'll be achieving to your, the successful destination because it's provide you that background once you follow the planning process. So it's ensure you achieve because once you achieve your objectives and goals and aims, definitely you have achieved the growth. Again, objectives, goals, achieve your growth. Example, exam, you pass the exam well, you complete your higher studies, find a new job or find a good job or do your own business, do some innovation or find a new business, so you try to join for a leading organization. I have my everything goals, objectives achieve වෙනවා නම් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ඔයාට growth එකක් තියෙනවා. ඔයාගේ business එක හරියට develop කරගෙන යනවා. So then you achieve the success in your life. So likewise in an organization ඔයාගේ growth එකට achieve කරන්න පුළුවන්. And also you continue that with the business operations, which is the 6th point. Shall we write the 7th point? To evaluate current and future competition, right? To evaluate and compare. Current and future competition. Right. Hi, now guys, listen well. මම හිතන්නේ මෙන්න මේක මම ඔයාලට මේ management පටන් ගන්න grade 13 syllabus එක ගැන introduction එකක් දෙද්දි කියන්න ඇති. සමහරවිට ඔයාලට මේක පොඩ්ඩක් මේ heavy theoreticals කියලා ඔයාලට හිතෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි remember you are so lucky why you are studying business studies in English media, because the next step that you are about to take when you pursue your higher studies, automate lessons වලම තමයි advanced version එකක් තමයි ඉගෙන ගන්න. So having that background is really important. Now you might remember the thing that I explained today or make මතක් වෙයි මේ මම කියපු දේ. ඔයාගේ higher studies කරන්න පටන් ගත්තට පස්සේ මොකද management, marketing management, operations management, HR management, those are the subjects which include in a management scope of a degree. right? So your higher studies. So definitely these set of things, an advanced version of these set of things, you'll be surely learn. So having that background in advance gonna definitely help you to catch up the things. So that is why we struggle, because I remember, because I'm not like criticizing us kind of a subject, because something like when you come to maybe something like business statistics, when a student follow, again there's an advantage. Business statistics subject should be in our higher studies වලදී. එතකොට ඒකයට එතනදී advantage එකක් වෙනවා. හැබැයි you know business studies කරලා නැති නිසා management ගැන ලොකු idea එකක් නැහැ. So then that might give them a weakness to catch them those stuff. So likewise, definitely this stuff going to be helpful to you, right? So our 7th point, to evaluate and compare the current and future competition, which is the point number 7. If you do remember the planning process or the planning process, එතන තිබුණා නේද ඔයාගේ current environment analysis කියලා step එකක් බලන්න. Step number එකක් තිබුණා environmental analysis කියලා. Yes, for that which is the after the resource analysis, which is the 3rd step. Yes, environmental analysis එකක්. එහෙනම් ඒකේදී ඔයාගේ current position එක SWOT. එහෙනම් so you try to identify the current competition. මොකද්ද දැනට තියෙන තරගය? කවුද අපිට challenge කරන්න ඉන්නේ? ඊට පස්සේ ඔයාගේ future opportunities and threats වලදී who are the emerging competitors? ඒ කියන්නේ නැගීගෙන එන නේද? නැගී එන ව්‍යාපාර මොනවාද? The possible threat to you, so you identify and you plan ahead how you eliminate. Do they have any comparative advantage? You know what's the comparative advantage? It's not competitive advantage. Sorry, it's not comparative, it's competitive advantage. අනිත් කෙනෙක්ට නැති ඔයාලඟ තියෙන advantage මොනවාද? ඔයාලඟ තියෙන resources, ඔයාලඟ තියෙන strategies මොනවාද? Example එකක් විදිහට ඔයාලට තියෙනවා well experienced CEO කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා, well experienced board of managers, board of management, so which gives you a competitive advantage. අනිත් කෙනා ළඟ නැති ඔයාලඟ තියෙන unique skill එකක් හෝ resource එකක්, or maybe your brand name, right? So the goodwill that you have, or maybe some sort of a high profile persons involved with your business. Maybe your brand ambassadors are well famous and well known. So that gives you the competitive advantage, right? So something like how you evaluate and compare the current and future competition, because it's really important to survive in the business. Competition එකේදී ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්න පුළුවන් වාට, you know, without having properly faced to that thing, right? Number 8, to motivate and guide. Yes, to motivate and guide other parties, to motivate and guide other parties of the organization and get them acknowledged organization and get them acknowledged. Shall we write the point? To motivate and guide other parties of the organization and get them acknowledged. Right. මොකද්ද මේ point එකෙන් කියන්නේ? ඔයා plan එකක් හදද්දි මම කිව්වා you communicate it from the CEO to associate. එහෙනම් මේ බලන්න ඔයා plan එකක් හැදුවට පස්සේ ඒක plan එක හදලා ඔයාලඟ කියලා විතරක් හරියන්නේ නැහැ නේද? board of directors la top managers මේක හදලා කබඩ් එකක දාලා නැත්තම් word document එකක හදලා save කරලා තියාගෙන ඉඳලා හරියනවද? නෑ. එහෙනම් plan එක execute කරන්න නැත්තම් plan එක implement කරන්න ඒක top level එකේ ඉඳලා පල්ලෙහාට implement කරන්න අවශ්‍යයි. එහෙනම් මේ බලන්න. So when the plan is communicated, yes, because everyone will get some sort of a work to perform, so they might, encourage, motivate to do so. Hari දැන් මේ හිතන්න, let's say a cricket match, right? The cricket match එකක මොනවා හරි let's say the final over. So they plan it. කොහොමද fielding එක arrange කරන්නේ, කවුද ඒක ball කරන්නේ, right? ඊට පස්සේ අපිට බලන්න පුළුවන් මේ ඉන්න batsman මොන වගේ shots ද play කරන්නේ. So to get that, so you plan the final over or maybe the whole match. So then definitely the rest of the members will get motivated. So they also will participate to do some sort of a task. Like ekanaට work එක allocate වෙන පුළුවන්. මෙන්න මේ side එක බලන්න. So you try to go like this, right? You try to be in that position. So something like that. So everyone, you'll be motivated because why? The plan is acknowledged from the top level to the bottom level. So that's what we mean by, the other parts. And also it's a guide you, right? Otherwise, ball කරන කෙනා දන්නේ බෝල දන්නේ මොන විදිහද බෝල් කරන්න ඕනේ, මොන විදිහද fielding arrange කරන්න ඕනේ කියන එක. හැබැයි plan කරොත් අන්නවව guide කරලා තියෙනවා. එහෙනම් the leader manager guides you in terms of the situation. So that thing we can apply practically into an organization as well, because the people who do the planning process comes with more experience, more industry knowledge. So they'll be able to guide you in terms of the work scope. So then when there's someone to guide you, obviously you will be get motivated. Otherwise maybe you will be panic or you'll be like disappointed. You do not know what to do, right? So when there's experienced person guide you and motivate, definitely, right, as per the plan. So make sure the other parties, which means could be the employees, could be the rest of the other customers. So the other parties mean that apart from the managers, the rest of the parties will get motivated and they acknowledge, because you try to share the plan. අපි තමු operation එකකදී and ඒගලන්ට top rankers ලා top officials ලා ඒගලන්ව guide කරනවා, මෙන්න මේ විදිහට තමයි attack කරන්න ඕනේ, මේ විදිහට තමයි මේක operate කරන්නේ කියලා. එහෙනම් ඒක guide එකක්, ඒගලන්ට advice එකක්. So then they will get motivated. So they will feel confidence about they can successfully complete the mission. So likewise, when you come to an organization, also the same thing applies. Right, now shall we complete this one? So with that, we are done with the importance of planning. දැන් මේක මේ theoretical විදිහට notes එක ලියා ගන්නම නෙමෙයි, අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම try to apply it, try to get the practical insight. මේක practically පොඩ්ඩක් හිතුවනම් හරි, නැත්නම් මේ points ටික මතක තියාගෙන ඒ විදිහටම ලියන්න කියලා මේ කියන්නේ. So get the idea. So what's the importance of planning? So when you know what's planning actually, when you are familiar with the planning process, definitely you will be able to provide examples, the importance. Well, so with that, we have one more subtopic to be discussed in order to complete the planning. එනවාද අපිට පුළුවන් planning ඉවර කරන්න. එහෙනම් අපි බලමු what are the problems and limitations. අපිට මේ නේද හැම දෙයකම අපි කියනවා there are two sides of everything. නේද හැම දෙයකම දෙපැත්තක් තියෙනවා. එහෙනම් importance උත් තියෙනවා, අනිත් පැත්තෙන් මේක කරන්න යද්දි limitations, ප්‍රශ්න, ගැටලු, බාධක, and the challenges we might have to face. When we are now in the process, we are journey to completing the syllabus, so we face challenges, something like this, right? But somehow to overcome those, for you also you face challenges, right? But what matters is you overcome those and then you achieve, because you have things to achieve in our life. So then you should be motivated from what's happening around you. So then it definitely lead you to achieve the success, right? So I'll give like 1 minute to complete. If you miss anything, please drop a message, because the screen sharing option is no longer available today. Right, එහෙනම් ඔයගේ tute එකේ මානි පැත්ත ලියන්න that page එකේ අපි left side එක ඉවර කරා right side එකේ the limitations, yes, problems and limitations of planning. Problems and limitations of planning. Problems and limitations of planning. Now think about it. පොඩ්ඩක් හිතන්න බලන්න. මොන වගේ ප්‍රශ්න වලට ඔයාලට face කරන්න වෙයිද? මොන වගේ challenges වලට ඔයාලට face කරන්න වෙයිද මේ planning කරද්දි? planning කරන්න යද්දි. plan කරන්න යද්දි මොන වගේ ප්‍රශ්න වලට මුහුණ දෙන්න වෙයිද? What are the challenges, the limitations you might face, you might have to face? Right, so I hope guys you guys done with this. Right, so I'm gonna erase this one. Moving to our new subtopic, problems and limitations of planning. So we'll discuss one by one. The first point, application of incorrect and insufficient information or data when planning. Right, shall we write the first point? Application of incorrect and insufficient information when planning. Right, එතන තවත් word එකක් එකතු කරන්න පුළුවන් ඕනනම් outdated, incorrect, insufficient, outdated data. Outdated ඒ කියන්නේ යල් පැන ගිය තොරතුරු. Application of incorrect and insufficient information when planning. හරිනේ අහන්න. We know that in order to plan, after plan කරන්න අපිට අවශ්‍යයි මොනවද? Information. So the more information you have, a successful plan. So more info, a better plan. Am I correct? දැන් ඔයාලගේ හොඳ information තියෙනවා, up to date information. For example, COVID ගැන decision එකක් ගන්න. So you need to have up to date information, correct, accurate, and also educate as well as sufficient information. So when you try to plan based on outdated, insufficient, incorrect data or information, what will happen? Your outcome also will be inaccurate or insufficient or inadequate. That's why. And the more information you put, more information in the sense, which is accurate, which is 100% correct, which is sufficient. So then you will end up with a better plan. මොකද අර plan කරන්න information අවශ්‍යයි. Example එකක් විදිහට අර market analysis වල වෙන්න පුළුවන්, environmental analysis වල strategic identify කරගන්න. You need to have a proper information. එනම information නැතිනම් නැත්නම් information මදි නම්, information වැරදි නම් ඔයාගේ plan එකක් වැරදි. දැන් ඒකනේ ගොඩක් වෙලා අර war operation එකකදී වගේ නේද? Intelligence services වලින් මොන හරි information දෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ මොන හරි satellite information. So the more information, more accurate information you have, your target is clear. Am I correct? And the satellite එකකින් දෙනවා location එක හරියට. Or maybe some pictures, right? Likewise, or maybe whatever the technology. So you have more info about your target destination, about your mission target. So then you can plan, well. හැබැයි ඔයාලට ලැබෙන්නේ inaccurate information නම් ඔයාගේ plan එක වැරදි වෙන්න තියෙන chance එක වැඩි. Correct. Shall we write the first one? Application of incorrect and insufficient or outdated information when planning. Plan කරද්දී වැරදි ප්‍රමාණවත් නැති යල් පැන ගිය තොරතුරු use කරනවා නම් right. Another point taken. Application of incorrect and insufficient data නැත්නම් outdated data. හරි මෙන්න අපේ second point එක the second point, preparing plans based on past trends and existing trends only. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි plan කරන්නේ past trends කලින් වෙච්ච දේවල් සහ දැනට දන්න දේවල් මත විතරයි. ඒ කියන්නේ අර future forecast එකක් නැහැ. එහෙනම් plan කරද්දී ඉස්සරහට මොන වගේ දෙයක් වෙයිද? දැන් example එකකට මේක හිතන්නකෝ. කෙනෙක් එයාගේ future occupation එක ගැන හිතද්දී යාට පොඩ්ඩක් හිතන්න ඕනේ දා. මේ occupation එකට කොච්චර demand එකක් එයිද ඉස්සරහට? නැත්නම් මේ occupation එක ඉස්සරහට නැති වෙලා යයිද කියන එක ගැන අපිට හිතන්න වෙනවා. Then for example, being an accountant, sometimes there are limitations because of the technology, because of the softwares. Some automation is happening. So the accountant's role is no longer required for some purpose, especially when it comes to financial accounting, not with the management accounting. So there are some limitations. So you need to think about that when you plan your future. I mean, in person. So likewise, in an organization, you need to make sure that you are not relying on the past trends. And the කලින් අතීතයේ තොරතුරු සහ දැනට තියෙන ඒවා ගැන විතරක් බේස් කරගෙන plan කරොත් එතන ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා මේක උනේ past, present, future. මේ තුන ගැනම හිතලා තමයි plan කරන්නේ. සාමාන්‍ය අපි හිතමු දැන් අපි building එකක් හදනවා කිව්වොත් නේද? අපි future ගැන හිතලා ඕනේ ඒක plan කරමු. Something like that. So the second point, preparing plans on past trends and existing trends only. එහෙනම් ඒක limitation එකක්. අනිවාර්යෙන්ම future trend එක ගැනත් හිතන්න වෙනවා. Future trend එක ගැනත් හිතන්න වෙනවා. එහෙනම් business එකක් කරද්දී මේ business එකට future demand එකක් තියෙයිද? නැත්නම් මේක වැහිලා යන business එකක්ද? මේ product එක ඉස්සරහට වැහිලා යන product එකක්ද? Something like a television or maybe something like a decline එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා මේ product එකට අපි මේ plan කරන්න යන product එකට ඉස්සරහට future එකේදී හොඳ demand එකක් තියෙනවා. එහෙනම් අතීතය වර්තමානය වගේම අනාගතය ගැන හිතන්න වෙනවා. එහෙම නැතුව past and existing ගැන විතරක් හිතුවොත් ඒකත් limitation එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right. So the third point, which is something interesting. මේක බලනවත් කරන දෙයක් වෙන්න ඇති. Preparing plans beyond the capacity and capabilities. බලන්න සමහරවත් මේ වැරද්ද කරනවා. මම නම් සමහරට විතරම කරනවා. Not now, actually, in the past. මේ බලන්න මොකක්ද මේ point එකකින් කියන්නේ කියලා. Preparing plans beyond the capacity and the capabilities. ඒ කියන්නේ තමන්ගේ capacity එක capability එකට වඩා plan කරනවා. දැන් මේ හිතන්න. දැන් ඔයාලට පුළුවන් ද plan එකක් හදන්න මම දවසට papers 5ක් කරනවා කියලා. So I'm not trying to demotivate you, But if you can do, that's great. But you kind of doing 5 papers per day. මොනවාද 5 papers අපි දැන් first paper එකක් කියලා. එතන ප්‍රශ්න කීයක් වෙනවද? 250 questions, right? 5 papers. අපි දැන් 5 full papers කියලා. එතකොට ආපහු තවත් ප්‍රශ්න කරන්න වෙනවා 5ක්. නේද? Essay questions. So it's a kind of a challenge. ඒතර ඔයාට එන ඔයාගේ plan එක වැරදි. එන ඔයාට at least කරන්න නෑ මම දවසට එක paper එකක් කරනකොට සමහරට ඒක කරන්න පුළුවන්. Something like that. Gradually you can increase. So this is something where you prepare the plans beyond the capacity and the capabilities, or the capable. Because I remember, when I was a kid, right, I used to plan with the timetable. Even for like time for watch cartoons, time to for play or cycling, something like that. I never work for the timetable, but I try to put everything together. Yeah, put limited කාලෙකදී ඔක්කොම එකතු කරන්න හදනවා. දැන් කෙනෙක් කිව්වොත් මම so let's say I'll tell you end of January I'll be completing the syllabus. නේද? බැරි නැහැ කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි අපිටම තේරෙනවා නේද? ඒකේ පොඩි limitations තියෙනවා කියලා. දැන් මම එහෙම කිව්වොත් මම January ඉවර වෙන කලින් මම syllabus එක ඉවර කරලා දෙනවා කියලා කිව්වොත්, which is something a plan beyond the capacity and the capabilities. We all have our own capacities and capabilities. එකෙනාගේ capacity and capabilities වෙනස්. So then we need to understand those. Based on that, we need to plan. So the third point, preparing plans beyond the capacity and the capabilities. Shall we write like that? Third point. Preparing the plans based on the capacity and the capabilities. Preparing the plans beyond the capacity and the capabilities. අපේ තියෙන capacity එක capability එක exceed කරලා අපි plans හදාන්න යනවා. හැමදේම include කරන්න යනවා. පාඩ ලස්සන කතාවක් කියන්නද? Right. මොකක්ද දන්නවද ඒක? People කියන්නේ මම මෙහෙම දෙයක් කිව්වොත් people overestimate what they can do within a year. මිනිස්සු overstate කරනවලු අවුරුද්දකින් කරන්න පුළුවන් දේවල් ගැන. 1 year. Right? කියන්නේ අවුරුද්දකින් ගොඩක් දේවල් plan කරනවා කියලා තමයි කියන්නේ. මොකද්ද? People overestimate, right? Which they can do within an year. අවුරුද්ද ඇතුළත කරන්න පුළුවන් දේවල් වලට වඩා දේවල් අපි plan කරනවා. හැබැයි ඒකත් එක්කම කියනවා they underestimate what they can do in 10 years. හැබැයි ඒගොල්ලෝ දන්නේ නැතිලු අවුරුදු 10කින් ඒගොල්ලන්ට කරන්න පුළුවන් දේවල් ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. හැබැයි ඒක අපි underestimate කරගෙන ඉන්නේ. පැහැදිලි? මම හිතන්නේ ඒකේ you get it right the point. So you overestimate what you can do within a year. අවුරුද්දකට කරන්න පුළුවන් තර ඔක්කොම දේවල්. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයගේ goals objectives ඔක්කොම දානවා මේ අවුරුද්දකින් ඔයා කරනවා කියලා. Which is impossible. At the same time you underestimate what you can do within 10 years. අවුරුදු 10කින් කරන්න පුළුවන් දේවල් ගැන ඔයා underestimate කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ අවුරුදු 10 ගානට වඩා දෙයක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඒ ගැන ඔයා හිතන්නේ නැහැ. ඔක්කොම එක අවුරුද්දකින් complete කරගන්න බලන්න. So that's why everyone has their limits, capabilities and capacities. So then it's really important that we truly understand them when we are doing the planning process. Right, with that, shall we move to our fourth point. Fourth point එක තමයි insufficient interest and dedication when planning. Right, මොනවාද මේ point එක? Insufficient interest and less dedication in preparing the plan. You just plan for the sake of doing, for the sake of planning. Planning කරන්න ඕන නිසා plan එකක් හදනවා. Just because you need to have a timetable, you prepare it. You don't put much interest. You think like it's useless to do planning, something like that. So insufficient interest and dedication when planning. Planning කියන process එක කරද්දී you're not participating for this class for the sake of participating. Participate when only sa participate වෙලා නෙමෙයි. So you try to grab something. So likewise, plan කරන්න ඕන නිසා plan කරනවා නෙමෙයි. You need to make sure that you properly do that. So you having a very insufficient interest. මොනාරි අපි තුමු manager plan එක ඉල්ල නිසා plan එක දෙනවා. Right? Because of a requirement. ඔයාගේ උඩ ඉන්න manager plan එක ඉල්ලනවා. Let's say sales forecast or sales plan or your marketing plan, your HR plan. So you just prepare it. නැත්නම් last year එකම copy paste කර එකක් දාලා පොඩ්ඩක් date එක විතරක් වෙනස් කරනවා. Financial year එක විතරක් වෙනස් කරනවා. So you don't have any interest. So ඒක හරියන්නේත් නැහැ. Plan එකක් කියලා නමට document එකක් නමට report එකක් තිබිලා හරියන්නේ නැහැ. It should be properly analyze through the steps. අපි steps ගැන කතා කරා. ඒ හැම step එකක්ම ගැන හොඳ අවධානයක් එම නැත්තම් we need to make sure that we properly go through. Correct. So which is the fourth point. Fifth point, not getting the involvement. Not getting the involvement of all employees, all level of employees, all level of employees. All level of employees. මොකද අපි අර planning principle එකක තියෙනවානේ. නේද? හැමෝම මේක සහභාගී කරවගන්න කියලා. මොකද plan එකක් වල තනියම මේක success කරන්න බෑ. නේද? අපි තුමු operation එකදී top ranks officials ලා මේක design කරාට මේක ඇත්තටම ground level එකේ තමයි මේක implement කරන්නේ. එතකොට board of managers, board of directors, management එක මේක හැදුවට මේක ඇත්තටම implement කරන්න හැමෝගෙම සහයෝගය අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. නේද? ඒ නිසා රටක එක පුද්ගලයෙක්ට රටක් හදන්න බෑ. එහෙම කවුරුහරි කියන it is incorrect. කවුරු කියන මම තමයි රට හැදුවේ, මම තමයි හදන්න, මට තමයි හදන්න පුළුවන් කියලා කෙනෙක් තනියම කියනවා සම්පූර්ණ වැරදි, සම්පූර්ණ බොරුවක්. එහෙම කරන්න බෑ. හැමෝගෙම සහයෝගය ඒකට අවශ්‍යයි. So the coordination has to be there. So that is why in our plan එක success කරන්න නම් plan එක හදලා you have to get the involvement of all level of the employees. එනම් මේක success කරන්න හැම කෙනාගෙන් එන අපි තුමු අර කලින් ගව operation එකකදී අපි තුමු game එකක් ගැන sport එකකදී example එකක් විදිහට මම දැක්ක මම හිතන්නේ මේක මම කලින් කියන්නේ අර formula race වල නේද ඒගොල්ලන් ඉන්න team එකක්. ඒතර කෙනෙක් හිතා මේක මේ driver ගේ විතරක් capacity එක කියලා නෑ. The driver is playing a major role. ඊට අමතරව team එකක් ඉන්නවා යාත් එක්ක නේද? ඒ technical team එක යා සමහරට ඉස්සරහා තියෙන පාර ගැන advice කරනවා. cameras වලින් යාව connect වෙලා ඊට පස්සේ අර tire මාරු කරන්නේ වෙනම set එකක් ඉන්නවා. තප්පර ගානකින් ඒගොල්ලෝ ඒක මෙයා කරන ඒතර ඒගොල්ලන් delay එකක් වුණොත් මොනවාද වෙන්නේ? so ඒ නිසා ඒ plan එක හැම තිස්සෙම හැම employees ලාගේම involvement එක අවශ්‍යයි. It's not a one man show. It's not a one man game. එක පුද්ගලයෙක්ගේ game එකක් නෙමෙයි. It's a collection of individuals. So make sure you get the involvement of the all level of employees in an organization. Correct. අර අපි මෙතන තවත් පොඩි වර්ඩ් එකක් එඩ් කරමු the not getting the involvement ඒ වගේම support එක මේක දෙකක් කියලා හිතන්න පුළුවන් ඒ කියන්නේ අර ඔයා involvement එක ගන්නෙ නැහැ ඒගොල්ලන්ගෙන් අනිත් එක ඒගොල්ලෝ support කරන්නේ නැති වුණත් වෙන්න පුළුවන් එක පැත්තක ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් සමහරවිට ඔය සමහරු චෝදනා කරන්නේ නේද මේ වැඩ කරන්න දෙන්නේ නැහැ මට පල්ලෙහා ඉන්නයි කියලා නේද අපි දන්නේ ඒක ඇත්තද බොරුද කියලා ඒක දෙපැත්තට හිතන්න පුළුවන් එකක් තමයි not getting the involvement or පල්ලෙහා අයව ඉන්වෝල්ව් කරගන්නේ නැහැ එක එකක් අනිත් පැත්තෙන් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ සපෝට් එකක් නැහැ එක්සැම්පල් එකක් විදිහට ටීම් එකේ අනිත් අයගේ සපෝට් එකක් ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ ඔයාට let's say you are the driver of that particular formula race අනිත් අය කිසිම සපෝට් එකක් නැහැ එහෙනම් ඒක තමයි ප්‍රශ්නය ඒ නිසා අපිට දෙපැත්තටම හිතලා ලියන්න පුළුවන් not getting the involvement of all employees also not getting the support of the all employees because it's really important to have the mutual understanding about the plan in order to make that success. මෙන්න ලස්සන තවත් limitation එකක් බලන්න මේක ඔයාලට වෙලා තියෙනවද කියලා believing that the plan will work as it is. Yes, believing that the plan will work as expected. Hi. දැන් හිතන්න. නේද ඔයාලා ලස්සට time table එකක් ගහනවා. දැන් ඔයා plan කරන exam එක. right? ඒකනේ දැනට ඔයාලට තියෙන objective එක goal එක. නැත්නම් ඔයාගේ future එක plan කරනවා. So ලස්සන්ට ඔයාගේ study table එක ඉස්සර වෙන්න පුළුවන් ඔයාගේ room එක වෙන්න පුළුවන් නැත්නම් washroom එක bathroom එක වෙන්නත් පුළුවන් ඔයා විතර යන තැනක ඔයා මේ plan එක ලස්සන්ට ගහලා තියෙනවා. ගහලා නේද මොනවාද හැමදාම ඕක පේන්න තියෙනවා. හැබැයි එහෙම plan එකක් හැදුවා කියලා ඒ වැඩේ වෙයිද? නෑ නේද අපි ගොඩක් වෙලා අපි දැන් plan එක හැදුවානේ. නෑ එහෙම වෙන්නේ නෑ. So you are believing that the plan will work as expected. Plan එකක් තිබුණ පළිට ඒක වෙන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙනම් you need to work on that. Right? You need to make sure that you follow those. ඒ නිසා අපි හිතනවා plan එකක් හදුවොත් ඒක ඒ විදිහටම වෙයි කියලා. නෑ නේද? plan එකක් ඒ විදිහටම වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Lot of challenges. Business environment එක change වෙනවා. Internally externally. example එකක් නෙමෙයි තා. ඔයාගේ plan එක වෙලාවෙදී ඔයාගේ ඉන්න හොඳම employee කෙනෙක් අයින් වෙනවා. Right? ඔයාගේ bestම marketing manager අයින් වෙනවා. So you never expected. හැබැයි ඒක reason එකක් වෙන්න බෑ. ඒක excuse එකක් වෙන්න බෑ. ඔයාගේ goals and objectives achieve කරගන්න something like. So you never expected that this sort of a pandemic will happen during your A levels time. You never expected that, but still you need to manage it. So that's why believing that the plan will work as expected. ඒක වෙන්නේ නැහැ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට. ඒ නිසා plan එකේ විදියටම වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ වෙනුවෙන් අපිට so you need to make sure that we overcome the challenges. එහෙනම් ගොඩක් අය හිතන දෙයක් තමයි so it's a limitation or a problem. So we believe the plan will work as expected. නෑ දැන් example එකක් විදිහට අපි success එක ගැන කොහොමද හිතන්නේ? පොඩි කාලේ නේද? අපි සක්සස් එක ගැන හිතනවා මෙන්න මේ විදියට. right? අපි તો මෙන්න age එක age 10 15 20 25 30 කොහොම යනවානේ year එක. මේ පැත්තෙන් සක්සස් අපි මොනවා වගේ net wealth එක කියලා. net wealth. හරිද? එතන ඔයා හිතන් ඉන්නේ මෙහෙම යද්දී ඔයාගේ ගාන සක්සස් එකට යයි කියලානේ. එහෙම වෙනවද ඔයාගේ reach වෙන destination එක? මම කොඩියක් ගහන්න. right? නේද? එහෙනම් මේක මෙහෙම වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මොනවද වෙන්නේ? ඔයාට challenges මේම up and down නේද? මෙහෙම යනවා, මෙහෙම යනවා. මෙහෙම ආයි minus වෙන්නත් පුළුවන් සමහරට මොනාරි. නේද? Something happened to you. Right? You know, but somehow you finally achieve it. Correct? ඒ නිසා මේ expected කියන එක මේ වගේ straight line එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. කවදාවත් success කියන එක එනවා නේද? Ups and downs there in our life. Correct? So we have to face those things up. plan කරපු විදිහටම මෙහෙම වෙන්නේ නැහැ හැමදේම. මෙහෙම වුණා කියලා වගේ give up කරොත් අයියෝ මම මේ plan කරානේ අවුරුදු මේ 20 දී A level කරලා degree එකකුත් ඉවර කරා. හැබැයි තාම A level results එනකන් ඉන්නවා. Right? But you know still you have to manage it. නිසා expect කරපු විදිහට වෙන්න නැති වෙයි. But what matters is you never give up, right? You finally achieve your point. So that's what believing the plan will work as expected. Challenges with the pulang, but you should not forget what you started this, why you started this, so then you will be achieving that. Next point, plans not being integrated. Plans not being integrated. Plans not being integrated to the entire management system. Entire management system. What the point taker? Plans not being integrated to the entire management system. අපි තුමු දැන් මෙහෙම දිනක planning department එක වෙනම තියෙනවා. නේද? planning එක අපි තුමු cabinet එක plan කරනවා. එහෙනම් ඒක implement කරන්නේ මෙතනින් පස්සේ ministries, departments, corporations likewise. එහෙනම් මේ අනිත් management system එකත් එක්ක මේක integrate වෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙනම් plan කරපු දේ තමයි organize වෙන්න ඕනේ. Organizing අනුව තමයි leading කරන්න ඕනේ. lead එක මත තමයි control කරන්නේ. එහෙනම් ඔයාගේ plans integrate නැත්නම් ඔයාගේ entire management system එකත් එක්ක example එකක් විදිහට අපි තුමු functional areas ඔයාගේ plan එක marketing එකත් එක්ක match වෙන්න ඕනේ. finance වෙන්න පුළුවන්. HR example එකක් විදිහට මෙහෙම හිතන්න. So you execute a great plan for marketing in order to boost your sales. But you are not getting the support. හැබැයි මේ plan එක communicate වෙලා නැහැ production එකට. ඒගොල්ලෝ production එක හරියම slowly වැඩ කරන්නේ. Now you have increased the demand, you have made lot of orders, but at the same time there's no support, which is why the plan has not been integrated. our marketing plan එකක් හැදුවා නම් sales boost කරන්න අනිවාර්යයෙන් මේක අනිත් අයටත් integrate වෙලා තියෙනවා. production එක දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ. මෙහෙම plan එකක් යනවා. So then we need to make sure that we should be able to face for the increased number of orders. For example, අනිත් පැත්තේ A plan එකම integrate වෙලා තියෙනෝනේ HR plan එකත් එක්ක. HR එක දැනගන්න ඕනේ capacity එක වැඩි වෙද්දී ඉක්මනට recruit කරලා support එක දෙන්න. මේව ගැන අපි වැඩි දුර කතා කරනවා වගේ අන්තිම lesson එක lesson number 18 in our entire syllabus business plan. And the planning ගැන අපිට business plan එක ගැන වෙනම lesson එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකෙදි අපි marketing plan, finance plan ගැන separately කතා කරමු. But I think you are getting my point, right? planning කියන එක අනිත් entire management system එකත් එක්ක integrate වෙන්න ඕනේ. එහෙනම් departments තියෙනවා නම් ඒ department එක integrate වුණොත් එහෙම නැති වුණොත් ඒක කරන්න අමාරු වෙනවා. So that's what correct. අපි හොඳම example එක ගමු. දැන් මේ COVID-19 එකත් එක්ක අනිත් ඒක health එක main responsibility යන්නේ කාටද? health ministry and health sector එකට. හැබැයි ඒගොල්ලන් හදන plan එක අනිත් පැත්තට integrate වෙන්න ඕනේ. අනිත් sector tourism sector වෙන පුළුවන් education, defense and security, so then all work together. They made a plan and others are aware about what the plan is about, so then they provide their support. So you need to make sure the plan is integrated to the entire management system. Point number 8. Inadequate knowledge in planning. Inadequate knowledge in planning. සමහර plan කරන්න තියෙන දැනුම මදිකම. ඒ කියන්නේ planning ගැන extra skill එකක් නැහැ. එහෙනම් ඔයාලට මොනවද කරන්න පුළුවන්? නේද? You can get the help from the external resource person, maybe an expert from the field. ඔයා දන්නේ නැත්නම් හරියට plan එකක් හදාන්න. අපි හිතමු දැන් ඔයාලට හොඳම example එක කියන්නම්. ලංකාවේ financial system එක හදන්නේ කවුද? ලංකාවේ කෙනෙක් නෙමෙයි ඒක හැදුවේ. ඒ කියන්නේ central bank එක මේ ඔක්කොම design කරේ John Exton නේද? අර දන්නා first governor of the CBSL John Exton. Yes, අපි කියන Exton report කියලා. එතකොට එයා ඇමරිකාවේ හිටපු economist කෙනෙක්. ලංකාවට ඇවිල්ලා එයා ලංකාවේ financial the monetary system එකම plan කරා. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක monitoring body එක central bank ඊට පස්සේ ඒ වගේ rules and ඒක තියෙන අපි කිව්වොත් rules plan කරන්න system එක plan කරන්න right අපි හිතමු නැත්තම් city එකක් plan කරනවා කියලා city එකක් නා Colombo city එක plan කරද්දි maybe from the English right so they get then expertise advice on how we situate the locations and everything. It is a water plan එකක් කරන්න knowledge එක නැත්තම් water කරන්න the example එකක් දෙලා මෙහෙම දෙයක් හිතන්න. ඔයාගේ exam එක plan කරගන්න අවශ්‍යයි. So ඔයාට හිතනවා නම් කෙනෙක්ගේ example එකක් විදිහට exam එකට successfully face කරපු නේද? ඔයා දන්න කෙනෙක්ගෙන් help එකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. කොහොමද මේක plan කරන්නේ? Something like that. So you get some external resource. If only you don't have that required knowledge to plan. If you think like that, ඔයාට හිතනවා මට මේ planning කරන්න එච්චරම knowledge එක මදි කියලා ඔයාට පුළුවන් to get the help from the external resource person. So that's what. So one of the limitation that you face, inadequate knowledge in planning. Finally, the 9th point, feeling that or think that planning is pointless. මේකත් අපි ගොඩාක් වෙලාවට හිතනවා නේද? මටත් හිතලා තියෙන සමානලා. Planning is just waste of time. Planning is pointless. We don't need to have a timetable. නේද? හිතන විදියට ඒ වෙලාවට එහෙම වැඩ ටික කරනවා නේද? සමහරට ඒක හිතනවා. ඇයි මේ මහසියෙන්නේ timetable එකක් කරන්නේ? ඒක කරාට වැඩක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. plan එකක් ඕනේ. අපි එන විදියට බලමු නේද සමානට. එන විදියට මොනවද අර කියන්නේ? කතාවකුත් තියනනේ එක එක කතාවක් කියන අර එන විදියට අපි බලමු කියලානේ. Something like that. You don't plan. You think that the planning is a waste of resources because it's a cost to you. It's your time, right? It's your resources. ඉතින් අතන නෑ plan ඕනේ. And then plan කරන්නත් කාලයක් යනවානේ. දැන් example එකක් නෙමෙයි හිතන්නකෝ. ඔයාගේ exam එක plan කරන්න ඔයාට යනවා සමහරට අපි හිතමු දවසක්. හොඳ plan එකක් ගන්න. ඒතර ඔයා හිතනවා අය මම මේ දවසක් තේස් කරන්නේ ඒ දවසෙත් මම පාඩම් කරන මම මොනාරි paper එකක් කරන something like. So you think like that the planning is pointless. Planning is you know, it's consumed a lot of resources. You think I don't need any plan. I'll face, you know, how it goes as it is. Correct, something like that. So feeling that the planning is pointless. You think that planning is pointless. Right. So guys, with that, that is the end of planning process. The first step in the management process. Now today I'll be only giving you an introduction to the organization. Introduction so rest of the thing we can continue next week because of the, you know, the disturbance happen. Actually, I plan to cover up to some point in the organizing as well. But let's start the organizing and I'll give you introduction. So the rest of the part we can continue. So I hope you are okay with this. So we'll erase this one. Let's move to organizing, the second step of the management process. So now we are well aware about the planning. Now we have to move to organizing. Now, like you see, these are the set of topics that you make sure that you are aware about. So it's the same structure. So you define organizing and steps of the organizing process. Remember that again, there's a process, planning process. Organizing process. So then explain each step and also taking an existing organization as an example. Importance of the organizing and also the concepts to be considered when organizing. Right. Now let me give you this simple explanation about organizing. When it comes to organizing, guys, there are 3 steps that you need to make sure that you are aware about, which is the allocating work, authority, and the resources. So the organizing is all about in order to achieve those, because you made the plan, how to achieve, what to achieve, and then in order to achieve those, how do you allocate work, authority, and resources. Why I'm telling like that? Okay, objectives and goals in an organization. Organization objectives and goals. What තනියම achieve කරන්න බෑ. ඒකේ තියෙන වැඩ ඔක්කොම තනියම කරන්න බෑනේ. accounting උත් හදාගෙන marketing උත් කළා HR එකක් plan කරන්න බෑ. Maybe at the early stage you are the multifunctional manager. ඔයා තමයි marketing කරන්නෙත්, accounts ටික හදන්නෙත් ඔයා, customer care කරන්නෙත් ඔයා, so everything. But as you grow with the business, you cannot do like that. So that is why you will be the head of the organization. You try to manage it. So that is why you make sure the total work scope you allocate. So the work allocation in order to achieve. So here we plan what to achieve, how to achieve, and then in order to achieve those, there are a lot of activities, work that you need to fulfill, which cannot be performed by yourself. So then you need to make sure how do you allocate work to your subordinates. And then not only that, in order to perform those work, they need to have the authority, a power. Authority එකක් දෙන්න අවශ්‍යයි මේ වැඩ ටික කරන්න. Maybe ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ යටතේ තව කට්ටිය ඉන්න නිසා. So you allocate a work to or a set of activities to perform to the marketing manager, or maybe he has a team. So you need to provide the required authority. And not only that, in order to perform those work, you need to have resources. In a marketing manager, එයාගේ වැඩ ටික කරගෙන යන්න එයාට resource දෙන්න වෙනවා, එයාට සල්ලි දෙන්න වෙනවා, budget එකක් දෙන්න වෙනවා, maybe a vehicle, maybe rest of the resources, right? For a production manager, you need to make sure you provide the materials, right? Employees, labors, everything. අපි තම accountant කෙනෙක්ට මොන වගේ resources ද අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ? එයාට computer එකක්, accounting package එකක්, workplace එකක් නේද? වැඩ කරන හැමදේම table එකක්, chair එකක්, computers, everything. Resources. In our resources නැතුව අපිට වැඩ කරන්න බෑ. නේද? ඒකට පුළුවන් කිසිම resource එකක් දෙන්න නැතුව ආගේ employees ලාගෙන් වැඩ ගන්න. ආගේ garment factory එකට එන employees ලාට you need to provide the sewing machine, materials and everything. ඒගොල්ලෝ ගෙදරින් machine එකක් අරගෙන එන්නේ නැහැ. So likewise, you need to make sure that you provide resources. And the organizing is all about, in order to achieve your objectives and goals, how do you allocate the work, how do you provide the authority, and how do you allocate the resources to them? Because that particular person will need to have those in order to do. So they are well organized. Correct? ඒකනේ කියන්නේ සමහර කාලවල අර යුද්ධ කාලෙදි කියන්නේ අපිට මේවා තිබුණා, resources තිබුණේ නැහැ, පාතුරම් ලබා දුන්නේ නැහැ, weapons ලබා දුන්නේ නැහැ. නේද? එන හැමදේම වට ලබා දෙන්න අවශ්‍යයි. So that's why in an organization you require to provide resources to your employees in order to perform their tasks. So organizing is all about based on these three pillars, I would say. Correct. එහෙනම් මේක කවුද කියලා තියෙන්නේ ස්ටෝනර්, ෆ්‍රීමන් and ගිල්බර්ට්. අපි මේ තුන් දෙනා ගැන කතා කරලා කලින් definition එකක් දීලා තියෙනවා. right. අපි ඒක දාගමු. එන ඔය ටියුට් එකට page you can see the page as separate one, separate tube inside the main tube. You might recognize that here, right? Defines organizing. One of the most important function of a manager is organizing the work of all of his employees. Employees like වැඩ ටික organize කරලා දෙන්න වෙනවා. Organize is one of the toughest and the most important function. Planning එකත් එක්ක organizing හරිම වැදගත් වෙනවා. මොකද plan එක ඇත්තටම කරන්න වෙන්නේ organizing කොච්චර success ද. එනවා කොච්චර ලස්සන plan එකක් හැදුවත් වැඩක් නැහැ. ඔයා ඒක හරියට organize කරේ නැත්තම්. සමහර අපි දකින්නෝනේ ලස්සන plan හදනවා. ලස්සන අපි කියන සමහර සුරංගන කතා වගේ ලස්සන plans හදලා තියෙන හැබැයි organizing එක හරිම weak. එහෙනම් organizing එක weak නම් ඒ plan එක implement කරන්න වෙන්නේ නැත. Right, now shall we write this explanation, please? The definition provided by Stoner, Freeman and Gilbert. Those are like co-authors of a book. Shall we write this the provided space, please? And please do highlight allocating work, authority and resources among the peers, among the members of an organization. So that's all about organizing. Okay, seems like there are so many power cuts, right? So I got some messages. I'll be, guys, if you had any interruption, please let me know. Please drop me a message. So I'll be sending you the recording. එහෙනම් අපි plan එකේදී කරනවා මොනවද achieve කරන්නේ කොහොමද achieve කරන්නේ එහෙනම් ඒක හරියට organize වෙන්නේ organizing process එකේ. එහෙනම් ඒ වෙනුවෙන් අපි මොනවද perform කරන්න ඕන වැඩ එහෙනම් ඒක අපි allocate කරන්න ඕනේ අපේ members ලාත් එක්ක because you cannot perform all the work by yourself and then you need to provide them the resources required in order to perform those tasks and also to give the required authority. බලය නේද? ඒකනේ කියන්නේ සමහරට අපිට බලය දෙන්නේ කියලා. In politics you might have heard අපිට බලය දෙන්නේ ඒක දෙන්නේ තුනෙන් දෙක දෙන්න ඔක්කොම දීලා තියෙන දේ දෙන්න පුළුවන් correct yeah resources power මේ තුනම අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා organizing to well organize these three pillars is really important. Right, guys, I hope you are done with writing. ඒත් එක්කම අපිට පුළුවන් ද මෙන්න මේ table එකක් පොඩ්ඩක් not a table it's like a chart අපි එකක් fill කරගමු. මේ තියෙන organization එකක්. Right, එහෙනම් මේ organization එකේ organizing කියන function එක organizing කියන එකේ pillars තුනයි. එතකොට මෙතනින් දාන්නත් පුළුවන් organizing කියලා. එහෙනම් මොනවාද මේ pillars තුන? Allocating work, එහෙනම් work allocate කරන කියන එකට මේක කරන්න කියලා you provide the authority or බලය ලබා දෙනවා and you provide resources. බලන්න මෙතන පොඩි සරල example එකක් දාලා තියෙනවා මේ manager කියනවා you two will be working together on this project. මොකද projects කීපයක් තියෙනවානේ ඔක්කොම manager එක කරන්න බෑ. manager එක manage කරන එක විතරයි. එයා කියනවා ඔය දෙනා මේ project එකේ වැඩ කරන්න. ආයෙනම් එතන මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ allocating the work. හැබැයි ඉතින් මේ project එකට වැඩ කරන්න කියලා විතරක් හරියන්නේ නැහැනේ. අවශ්‍ය resources ටික budget එකක් or maybe some sort of a vehicle, other resources, equipments, laptops and everything to work on that project or maybe some another assistants මේ දෙන්න head කරනවා නම් එයාට assist කරන තව assistants තව employees ලා අන resource ලබා දෙනවා ඒත් එකම authority එකක් ලබා දෙනවානේ මේ වැඩ ටික perform කරන්න. Right, so you realize that so arranging the task people and other resources to accomplish the work. So likewise මේ වගේ එකිනෙක projects දෙනවා. So end of the day මේ projects ඔක්කොම success වුණාට පස්සේ organization goals and objectives achieve වෙනවා. Right, also that's about the today's plan. So we talk about, we completed the planning and organizing. I gave you a very little introduction. So next Monday we'll be able to continue with that, starting from the organizing process. And also there are some important key concepts about the organizing as well that we should be well aware about. And regarding the Sunday class, I'll send you separate message. So, I'll confirm the date and the time and everything. Okay, well, everyone. So thank you for joining, and we'll see you on this next week. Right. Thank you.